على مدار كوب 28 من 30 نوفمبر ولغاية 12 ديسمبر تطرقنا لمواضيع مختلفة ولمحاور مختلفة شفناها على أرض كوب 28، سواء كان بالبلو زون بالمنطقة الزرقاء أو بالجرين زون أو المنطقة الخضراء. حكينا عن العديد من الأمور، واليوم بنتطرق لموضوع جديد كمان شفناه ولمسناه بكوب 28، ويمكن تطرقنا للعنوان العريض له واللي هو الأكل المستدام. ضيفتنا لليوم هي فاليريا كرينياتسكايا، رئيس قسم الأغذية النباتية بمجموعة أفكو، يلي رح تخبرنا أكثر عن إطلاق مصنع للأغذية النباتية بالشرق الأوسط لأول مرة بدولة الإمارات. كانوا موجودين أيضا بكوب 28، كانوا عم يعملوا كيترينج للبلو زون وللجرين زون، وكانت من الأفكار المستدامة يلي شفناها بكوب 28. يلي بيميز هيدا المصنع إنه أول مرة بالشرق الأوسط عم بيكون موجود بدولة الإمارات. ثاني شيء في عنده نكهات محلية. تفاصيل أكثر رح تخبرنا عنها فاليريا كرينياتسكايا. Very happy to have you with us on Star FM.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Great having you. Valeria, tell me more about IFFCO and the new factory that is now here for the first time in the Middle East in the UAE.
Yes. So THRYVE is the venture of IFFCO, and we are the first 100% plant-based meat factory in the region. And our ambition is to drive the change in the food system towards more sustainable and healthy. So our vision actually is to change the center of the plate of the local consumer towards more healthy and towards more sustainable. We have chosen to design our assortment from a locally relevant plant, which is called faba bean food in Arabic.
Yes.
And the beauty of faba bean is not only that it is culturally relevant for this region, but also it's very nutritious, it's very high in protein, it's high quality protein, 8 out of 9 essential amino acids. It's also the source of the dietary fiber, it's also the source of the micronutrients. So basically we are leveraging the culture and the heritage of the faba bean of the region, and we're transforming that into delicious plant-based meats.
Like what?
Like, for example, kapsa or shish tawuk or shawarma. We also have taken a local angle to that, because in order to make that new change and that new diet accessible, it needs to be enjoyable. And in order to make it enjoyable, we need to make sure that consumers are getting on the table what they're used to eat and what they're normally eating every day. So that's why we worked a lot with local chefs in order to curate that local taste, local shapes, local forms. We also understood that in this region chicken is very popular, and therefore we have focused on curating specifically plant-based chicken for them. And we are bringing that in these different shapes and forms like shawarma, kapsa, shish tawuk, koftas.
Where are the faba beans planted? Where do you get them from?
It's a very interesting question. At this point of time, we are planting that in Scandinavia. And this is because the faba bean as a crop has been slightly forgotten in the Middle East. So in the future, we're seeing a big potential for the region to rediscover this beautiful crop, because it has a strong regenerative potential also for the agriculture.
And it can be planted in this region?
Yes, because faba bean is very resilient, the same as the culture of this region. It was born in this region 10,000 years ago, and it has traveled around the world and adapted itself in different climate conditions. Scandinavia is a northern part of our world, and it's growing there, flourishing there. So we are certain with the support of different research and development, we will be able to reintroduce that in GCC region. We cannot for sure say whether that would be in UAE, in Saudi, in Oman, Kuwait, but if we look into the food security from the regional point of view, we definitely see a flourishing opportunity for faba bean in this region. And did you know that faba bean is also healing the soil? It has a unique root system that is fixating nitrogen in a very natural way. So it is impacting our plate in a very low CO2 emission way. Every time we eat faba bean, be it in a natural form or be it in a natural form of new plant-based meats, we are contributing to the regenerative agriculture.
Okay, interesting. When you mentioned that you are offering sustainable food from the beginning, so the procedure is sustainable and the food is itself sustainable, what do you mean by this?
So we mean that...
Is there a way to cook in a sustainable process, let's say?
Yeah, when we look into the manufacturing or the food system altogether, I would say it's not only about the way how we are producing, but exactly as we discussed, where we are sourcing from, how we are harvesting, how we are transporting, then how we are producing, then how we are getting that to the plates. So in THRYVE, we're looking at the full food system. And we have just conducted the life cycle assessment study, which is comparing the environmental impacts of the plant-based meat food system versus animal-based meat food system, reconfirming that the choices we have made for creating THRYVE food system are the right choices, because they are leading us towards the net zero economy by 2030.
When our choice is vegan, not only vegetarian, or you're good with vegetarian?
We are good with everyone.
Okay.
We are inclusive.
Okay, so when our food is not based on meat, let's say, or any animal product, how much energy are we saving? How are we, in this way, how are we able to decrease our carbon footprint? And is there a number? Are we measuring this?
Yeah, one of the tools, as I have mentioned, to measure the environmental impact of the choice is to have a life cycle assessment done in order to understand how much water we save, how much land we save, how much energy we save by going directly for the nutrition to plants and by passing animal agriculture. So we definitely can measure that with numbers, and we have to measure with these numbers, and we need to communicate to consumers and make it very explicit to them how impactful are their choices about the food. Going to LCA that we have conducted, we can officially say that when you are choosing the plant-based chicken, which is THRYVE in that particular case, versus the animal-based chicken, you are having the CO2 impact less by 4 times.
4 times less?
4 times less,
okay.
Significantly less. And when you are choosing a plant-based beef or style beef, then you are even impacting more, because the beef animal agriculture is even more intense on the environmental impacts. So 12 times less.
Wow.
And this is conservative numbers. In our research, we have been extremely conservative. And by improving the full food system, as I said before, we can definitely see that we can achieve the net zero impact by 2030. We have already we were already very strong in designing the strategy for the agriculture, and the choice of fava bean helps us. As I explained, it is fixating nitrogen, so that's a good choice. But we still need to work, for example, on our primary energy more. We're making transition towards solar panels in our factory at the moment, and I think that by 2030 we will be able to see the result of net zero.
By producing plant-based food here in the UAE and having it everywhere in the market. So do you think and do you observe that, or did you observe that the people's behavior is different now? They are going into plant-based products more than
It is
before?
a journey. It's the journey from the very beginning. We are creating this new category, and we are facilitating that new behavior and choice, and we are just at the beginning of that. I think people are embracing this change, and especially post-COVID, people are looking also for the healthier options. And our plant-based meat is the second generation of the plant-based meats, which is clean, doesn't have any additives, doesn't have any artificial ingredients inside. It's very simple recipes. They are full of nutrition. So consumers are paying more attention to health. Definitely taste is very important, and the fact that we have cracked the local taste with local shapes and forms and different marinations and styles and flavors is a big plus. But the next motivation after taste is health, and people are paying more attention to this.
You know, I can share from my personal experience. If, for example, I'm doing 3 times a burger per month, from my personal life, I would do 1 meat and 2 plant-based meat, and my kids will not know the difference.
Exactly. And if you don't mention this to them, then they'll definitely not know the difference. That's how far technology has developed.
Yes, yes. You were catering at COP28 in the blue zone and in the green zone, and you were catering through a 1.5 degree aligned menu, 1.5 degree aligned menu. That is, of course, going with the goal of COP28. So tell me more about this menu. What was special about this menu, and how can you cater for this number of people?
Yeah, that has been quite a diligent planning behind that, and I would like to thank all the partners that supported us on the journey and COP28 team, because they have given us quite intensive training on how to get to 1.5 degree aligned menu, as it is not an easy task, but it is extremely exciting task. For us, among others, that has been easier because we already had a very sustainable plant-based meat solution that we can put in the center of the plate, but it's not enough. We also need to, in order to curate the final dish, we need to use many more other ingredients. And one of the key impacts in order to achieve low carbon footprint of the menu is local sourcing. So this is definitely where UAE has a massive opportunity to develop further. At the moment, as we know, import in food is still quite significant, above 80%. But there is a lot of interesting progress happening in agriculture. We see vertical farms are developing, local farms, other shapes and forms are developing. So one of the key elements for us to achieve the target of 1.5 aligned menu and low carbon emissions was to collaborate with local suppliers, above and beyond plant-based meat that we produce ourselves, to collaborate with local farms. Another element that was here very important is the packaging, because here in COP28 it's about grab and go. We were catering in blue zone, where people are very busy, people are negotiating, and they have very short breaks, so we need to give them a very fast solution, but it needs to be sustainable. So the choices on packaging have been also quite strategic. We only used compostable packaging for all the consumers, and we have minimized at the back of house all the packaging.
Let me just stop you here. Compostable means the packaging that goes back to
the land. The land,
but
land naturally embraces that and composing that in a natural way. And again, COP28 team helped us a lot, because they also have, it's not so easy to find a supply of a compostable packaging, but they gave us options, and they guided us and supported us in these choices. So we were able to deliver a very strong, well-packaged menu as well. Besides packaging, another big point in the aligned menu is waste management. So food waste management. Our target in COP28 was to achieve not more than 10% of the food waste that we are serving, and we have been very diligent in our supply chain planning. To your point, how to cater so many people, it's all about planning and anticipation, and we managed to achieve less than 5% of the food waste, and participated in the food rescue programs as well, so nothing really goes into the waste in terms of food. Segregation of waste as well, we practiced here in COP28, which showed us a big potential of how UAE can go forward in the recycling system and in the segregation system of the waste. So it's that complex approach from zero to hero, from A to Z, for the entire food system. And that menu, when you bring it onto the plate, represents not just the choice of the manufacturing, but the full choice of the food system. And that is very satisfying.
Valeria, with what you said now, you gave a great example for everyone how to, at home, in their own decisions, how to as well cater based on a 1.5 degree aligned menu. So 4 main points we should follow. First of all, go for plant-based product. Second, go for a local choice. Third, make sure that the packaging is sustainable package that you're using. And fourth, avoid food waste. And we're good to go. So with catering companies, in hotels, and as well in our houses. So it's very simple, very easy, with 4 main decisions.
Exactly.
Valeria Krynetskaya, thank you so much for being with us today. All the best in the future, and it was great having you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. إذن مستمعينا هيك تعرفنا باختصار اليوم